Hi everyone, welcome to the jQuery series. I'm Karthik. In this session, we are going to discuss about the jQuery fundamentals. In the jQuery fundamentals, the topics that we are going to discuss are the DOM basics, the jQuery introduction, using jQuery, and content delivery network. First, let me discuss about the DOM fundamentals. DOM stands for Document Object Model. As soon as the browser loads the HTML file from the server, the browser will create the DOM version of the HTML which is retrieved from the server. Then in the browser, we have a browser layout engine which will go through the HTML and CSS to build the document using HTML DOM, and the browser will display the rendered page. Once the page is successfully loaded in the memory, that is the DOM is loaded, then only the JavaScript will come into the picture. Then the JavaScript interpreter will reference the DOM to make change without reloading that web page. So the JavaScript comes into the picture only the DOMs loaded into the memory. Okay, let me take one example. Consider this HTML code snippet. In this HTML code snippet, we have a head section and a body section. Head section contains a title tag and the body section is having a paragraph. In that paragraph, we are having some text content. In that content, we have a span tag. Let me see how this HTML code is getting converted into a DOM tree. Let me try to mimic that and draw that using paint. In this diagram, we can see for the HTML code snippet provided here, the browser will construct a DOM tree like this. In this, the root tag is the document. Document is considered as a root tag. That root tag gets divided into HTML. Then HTML is further divided into head and body. And the body tag has one text node. That is, I can provide some text before the paragraph and a paragraph. Then again, after that paragraph, I can provide another text node, so that as of now it doesn't have any content, so it is blank. Then in that paragraph, it get divided into one text node, one HTML node, then again a text node. Then this text node is having a DOM. So the important thing to understand here is the HTML content, whatever we retrieve from the server, the browser will try to create the DOM version of that. This DOM is nothing but a inverted tree. Inverted tree means the root will be at the top. Document is considered as the root node. I hope you all got the idea about the DOM. Now let me move into our jQuery. www.jquery.com, that's a official website for jQuery. Here we can go ahead and read the entire API documentation by pressing this API documentation link, and we can download the library by pressing this tag, download jQuery. So here we are provided with two different versions, that is 1.12.4, which is the latest one, or you can go with the 2.2.4. I recommend you to download this 1.12.4. The reason is it is trying to use the ECMAScript. Okay, it is trying to use the ECMAScript file. So it is strongly recommend to use this jQuery version. When you are moving into the download, we have two options available for us. That is, you can either download as a compressed version or else as an uncompressed version. We are supposed to use the compressed version in the production environment, and whereas the uncompressed version needs to be used in the development environment. Before downloading those two files, let me create a folder called jQuery in my D drive. I have created a folder called jQuery in my D drive. To follow along the session, I request all the participants to create the same folder either in C drive or D drive. Then create a folder named scripts under the jQuery folder. We have jQuery, inside that we have the scripts. I'm going to download those two versions of jQuery, that is compressed version and uncompressed version. So right click, save this link in the D drive jQuery scripts folder. If you look at this, when I try to download the compressed version, it is trying to save with min.js. Here min stands for minified version. Min means minified version. Let me discuss about this minified version when we are moving into our code. So minified version I have downloaded. Same way I am downloading the uncompressed version. Now let me try to understand the difference between this compressed and uncompressed version. So first let me try to open the minified version. Edit with Notepad++. If you look at the minified version, there won't be any documentation, there won't be any white spaces, all the variable names are shortened. If you look at that, the variable names are shortened. These are the three fundamental things will happen when you try to compress a script file, that is minifying. Minifying means it should not have any spaces, variable names needs to be shortened, there won't be any documentation or comments. Due to that, the file size, when you compare with the uncompressed version, you can see the minified version is just 95 KB, whereas uncompressed version is 287 KB. Let me try to open the uncompressed version now. See that it has a proper documentation, have spaces. It is very much important that whenever we are in the development stage, we are supposed to use this uncompressed version. When we are moving in the production environment, we are supposed to use the minified version. So I have downloaded those two files in the script folder. In the D drive jQuery, I have created my first file, jQuery-fundamentals.html file. Let me open it with Notepad++. So before moving into the demo, once again, jQuery is nothing but a JavaScript library. JavaScript library which is provided in a single file that we have downloaded already. We have downloaded the minified and the uncompressed version. It's a single file. So this jQuery is great for a lot of things. Using jQuery we can do many things, but jQuery is specifically, it is powerful or specially powerful in manipulating the DOM, because manipulating DOM prior to jQuery is really tough. Let me try to explain that with a demo. Look at this HTML code snippet. In this HTML code snippet we have 5 paragraphs: para 1, para 2, para 3, para 4 and para 5. Now if I want to select those elements using the classical JavaScript, we need to use the JavaScript API with the help of, that is a DOM API available. Document.get element by tag name is there, get element by ID is there, get element by class name is there. So let me just show that to you. Let me run this in Google Chrome. So we have all the 5 paragraphs. And let me try to open the developer tools. To open the developer tools, we need to press F12. So when I press F12, you can see the developer tools is opened. Press F12. Okay. Now I just want to get all the paragraphs. So to get all the paragraphs, we have a DOM API that is I can just simply say document, which is the DOM. You can see the entire DOM is here. Okay, then say document dot get the element by the tag name. Get all the element by tag name P, so that we can get all the paragraphs. Now I want to get the first paragraph. In the sense we need to go ahead with the help of the index position. I can get it. That's not a very big deal. Now I want to get the paragraph with the ID P1. In that sense, we need to go ahead with document dot get element by ID, Q the ID. The ID here is P1, so that we can get that paragraph. If I want to get all the paragraph which is having the class, so for that also we have one method, document dot get element by class name. The class name is para. We can get that paragraphs. So for retrieving these three things, that is ID selector or a tag, or else if it is with a class, yes, we have some methods. But I want to get all the paragraph or get the paragraph which contains the word para 5. Okay, I want to get the paragraph which contains the word para 5. Seriously, without jQuery, this is really tough. Without jQuery, this particular task is really tough. Or not only that, if I want to delete a node, or if I want to change the content of the node, for example, I want to get the first paragraph and I want to change the content. So to do that, we need to first get that paragraph, like where p1 equal to, I want to get the first paragraph. So document dot get the element by tag name, get the tag name p, that is of 0th element. So we got that first paragraph. So this is your first paragraph, you can see that. So if I want to go ahead and get the content inside that, we need to say p1 dot inner text. We can get that. If I want to change it, p1 dot inner text equal to para changed. So you can notice that it is changed. For this small sort of stuff, classical JavaScript is somewhat easier, but when you're moving into the complex stuff, especially removing the node, selecting the element based on the content provided inside that, it is really tough. So jQuery is going to play a vital role in manipulating the DOM. Even though it does a lot of other things, jQuery is too much powerful in DOM manipulation. Fine. Now let me start with our jQuery. I've opened my notepad. In this notepad, this is the basic stuff, like this is a basic code snippet which we'll be using for almost all the examples that we are going to follow in this tutorial. Like here I have just embedded my script at the end of the DOM. So it's a best practice to provide the script after the DOM gets loaded instead of specifying that within the head tag. If you are specifying within the head tag, it will wait for the script to load, then only it will allow the DOM to load. So as a best practice, let the DOM load first, then we can download the script file, because it makes sense. Reason is the JavaScript will come into the picture only if the DOM is available. When the DOM content is ready, then only we can work with jQuery. So as a best practice, try to provide the script at the last. Now it is done. I have saved it. Let me try to run it in the Chrome. Just I press refresh. Now I just want to check whether the jQuery is successfully included in our HTML file or not. To check that, you can just type J. As soon as you start typing J, you can see that in the console, the IntelliSense allows you to do the autocomplete. Just press tab key. Then we can get this jQuery object. Okay, this is the jQuery object. In the jQuery, whenever you're working with anything with jQuery, this is a very important object. So when I call this function, it's going to return a jQuery object for us. Okay, it's a jQuery. Now what we are going to do here is, let me start writing our code here. This is a basic code snippet. I'm having a script tag. In this script tag, we are going to start writing our jQuery. First J, and see the way I'm writing jQuery. Here the J should be in lowercase, Q should be in capital. Don't try to write capital J. That's not the way to write jQuery. So I'm just calling the jQuery function. So simple. So in this jQuery function, we are supposed to pass our DOM. Okay, we are supposed to pass our DOM as an argument. So let me try to pass that. So we have seen that document is going to hold the entire DOM tree. So I have just passed that as an argument. Then in the jQuery, we have a method called ready. So what is the usage of this ready method? So ready method is used to check whether the DOM is loaded or not. Okay, ready method is used to check whether the DOM is loaded or not. Once it is downloaded, it will execute the callback function which is specified as an argument. Once the DOM is ready, it will try to execute this callback function. This is all about our jQuery structure, I can say. Okay, so jQuery, I have passed the DOM. Once the DOM is ready, this callback will be executed. So let me just check that whether this is working or not by just specifying alert jQuery is working. Save it. Let me open my Chrome, refresh it. See that it's printing jQuery is working. That is that once the DOM is successfully loaded, here we are supposed to provide all our stuff. Okay, code goes here. I hope you all got the idea. Now the next thing we are going to see here is the dollar sign. Here the interesting part is the jQuery is strictly equals to dollar. That is, wherever you use jQuery, that can be replaced by this dollar. That is, dollar is an alias for jQuery. So I can just change this jQuery with the help of a dollar. Still it works. Save it, refresh. Okay, so dollar is an alias for jQuery. Okay, so dollar is an alias for jQuery. Now we are using jQuery. For instance, if suppose you are from PHP background, okay, so PHP is also into web development, I can combine my jQuery with PHP. In that scenarios, PHP as a dollar sign. Okay, try to understand this. PHP is also having a dollar sign. So the jQuery alias dollar should not get conflicted with the PHP dollar. So how come I can ensure that? Let me see. Okay, here once again I open the Google Chrome, and in jQuery, that is wherever you want to use jQuery, hereafter we can say dollar. There is a function called no conflict. Okay, so when I say $.no conflict, and I can store that into some temporary variable, I just say that where kk equal to $.no conflict. Before executing this code, let me show once again, dollar is right now it is strictly equals to jQuery, whereas when I say where kk equal to $.no conflict, when I specify this, hereafter dollar is not an alias for jQuery. Got it? So dollar is no more alias for jQuery. So you can see this. Dollar is no more alias to jQuery. So I need to just specify this code where kk equal to or some variable equal to $.no conflict. Then you can start using the other frameworks like PHP and all those stuff where we'll be using dollar for some other purpose. Once that PHP stuff is over, once again I want to regain back my that dollar as an alias for jQuery. We need to simply say dollar equal to kk, that is the variable I have stored, dot no conflict. Once it is done, now hereafter we got it gains the power back, that is I can just check dollar whether it is strictly equals to jQuery. Yes. I hope you all got the idea of the no conflict method. So this no conflict method will be very much useful when if you are working with other frameworks, in that dollar might be used for some other purpose. So to avoid the conflict with other frameworks, we can use this no conflict method to remove the alias functionality for dollar. Okay, now we'll see another important concept in the jQuery fundamentals, that is content delivery network. So what is this content delivery network? So far in our file we have referred the jQuery library like this. When it comes to the production environment, we won't be using this approach. We'll be referring the jQuery using a concept called CDN. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. So let me try to explain why this content delivery network is really useful for us. When, for example, we have two websites. Let me take two websites. One is abc.com, another one is xyz.com. There are two different websites. They are going to use the same jQuery library. Here also they are using the same jQuery library, and here too we are going to use the same jQuery library. From my system, that is as a end user, I'm going to open abc.com. When I open the abc.com, this jQuery library will be downloaded to my system, that is to the client PC, then it will start working. Once again, if I open the xyz.com, it won't consider that the jQuery is already downloaded because this is a separate domain. Since it is a separate domain, once again it will try to download it. This is the major problem. So how to avoid this means, this is one problem. The another problem is when I try to download it, if suppose I have downloaded, since it is .com version, probably that particular domain might be available in US. So right from India, if I'm using this website, it will try to download the file which is placed in the US server. It will try to take it from the US server. These are the two problems. The first problem is when I try to open two websites of the same version of jQuery, also it will try to download it once again. Another problem here is when I'm trying to download it, it will try to download from the, it won't be trying to take the details from the nearest server. It will try to take it from the place where it has been deployed. These are two concerns. So those two concerns can be easily addressed with the help of the content delivery network. So like for jQuery, we have popular CDNs. One is the Google CDN. This is a very popular one. Let me just try to show the URL of the Google CDN. So I've opened the Google Chrome here. There we have seen we can see that I searched for Google CDN. When I click this link, it will take me to the CDNs hosted for the developers. So let me pick up the jQuery. In this jQuery 1.x, I'm just picking up the CDN and let me paste it here. So if you look at this, script src equal to, instead of downloading it in our project folder, now it's going to take it from the CDN. So that needs to be substituted here. So if you look at this, it's using 1.12.4, which is the latest version, and it is using the minified version as well. So the advantage here is, now let me consider this abc.com and xyz.com is going to use this CDN, that is Google CDN, and this is also going to use the Google CDN. So when I try to open abc.com, it will first time, if it is first time, it will try to download it. Okay, then I'm trying to open xyz.com. Since already it has been downloaded, it won't download it once again. It will ensure that the CDN hosted version gets downloaded only once. This is the first advantage. Then the second advantage is, since it is available as a Google CDN, it will download automatically from the closest available network. Okay, from the closest available server. For example, Google, it has been hosted in a lot of in the cloud. You can see in near to India we have Southeast Asia, and if you are trying to browse from US, we have Central US. There are a lot of servers. In each and every service they have placed the CDNs. So it is always a good practice to use CDNs, especially in the production environment, so that we'll get two benefit. The first one is it will be downloaded only once. Second one is it will try to download from the closest available server. Okay, so this is jQuery fundamentals. So we have a lot of other topics lined up. I hope you all enjoyed my session. Thank you all.